and a mile back.
Now let's talk a little bit about the founder, Ann Mallon.
Sure.
She is like yourself, 27 years old, and I tip my hat to you guys because it's great to see young people not only concerned about themselves, because I know you have to earn a living and she has to earn a living, and we all do,
Sure.
but to help and outreach to people who really need more help than we do. That's great. How did this all come about with Ann?
Well, it's a great story, which I've told a lot and I'll continue to
Please.
tell. I met Anne about a year and a half ago. We became very good friends. We had the same philosophies on life, about sports, about moving people forward. And in the summer, last summer 2007, in June and July, Anne spoke to me about having a running program at a homeless shelter. And I said, you know, that's a great idea. Unfortunately, my life at that time, I couldn't help her out with that. But she said to me, you know, I run by the shelter on 13th and Vine every morning, and the guys wave to me. They say hi to me, they shout at me, crazy runner, why are you running through this part of the neighborhood? And she stopped in her tracks one day and she said, wow, I'm kidding myself and I'm kidding these guys that, you know, I should be asking them to run with me. You know, of course, they're invested in me, they smile and they wave.
You know, what's so fascinating is that here at this early hour of the morning, what time did you say it was?
5:45.
5:45. And here's a young woman running, and guys are, you know, it's like, wasn't there a fear factor involved at some point?
With my conversations with Anne, I know at no point was there a fear factor. You know,
wonderful.
You take people for face value, you treat them the way you want to be treated, and that's the way, and that's our philosophy at Back on My Feet.
She better be careful. She might get a post with the Nutter administration because he's really,
you never know.
He wants to crack down on crime. I mean, it's great to hear. And one day she was approached by ABC, the ABC network.
That's correct. ABC came down one Wednesday morning.
How did they hear about this program?
I think because of the growth of the program that we have through different states, through our website, through people talking about it, word of mouth, and we'd had a plethora of media attention up to that point as well. So I guess the word traveled quickly with that. They came down one morning and filmed us, videoed us, interviewed Anne, and that evening it was broadcast live to the nation, which was wonderful. You know, the next 2-3 days, a week after that was emails after email after email after phone call, which was great. You know, we're trying to create an awareness here,
right.
Break stereotypes, and that really helped with that.
I happened to miss the original broadcast, but it was on the ABC website.
That's right.
And I watched the whole thing, and it was great. And she was telling a story about one runner who was running to get a job so he could buy his daughter Christmas presents.
That's correct. That's a wonderful story. The runner's name is Mike Solomon. And what happened was Mike came through the program after 4 months. This is Back on My Feet right now, Art, just to give you a sense, is that we're not just a running organization anymore. Running is the vehicle to greatness, and greatness is this. After 3 or 4 months in the program, we look at the guys, we track their miles, their attitudes, their attendance, everything like that. So
Sure.
It's very sophisticated. And then after 3 or 4 months, we will sit the guys and the women down and say, you know, where do you want to go with your life? Where, you know, what are your excitements? What's going to make you excited tomorrow, 6 months, in a year? And they talk to us a little bit about what they want to do. So we have a partnership set up with Metropolitan Career Center, MCC, and they basically provide us with, or the guys and the women in the shelters with, study program. They can go there and they can go back to school, and they can do a 4-week program, or they can do an associate's degree program. So Michael Solomon went back, did 4 weeks in the Strive program. At the same time, which was unprecedented for that time in that program, he actually got a job at a telemarketing company. So he was working as well as going back to school. And you know, 6 months ago, he was not even a runner. So now he's a runner, he's at school, and he has a job. So it's a wonderful story. And Mike, as you said, was featured on ABC.
Now, how about finding these people housing?
That's something we're currently working on right now. This is more or less the last step. And I hate to say the last step because it never is, because it's a community. And
There's
always something
yes.
to do, and always something to grow and build. But you know, once we've set up the partnership with the Career Center, and then, you know, the guys get a job, the women get a job, and then we move on to housing. So that's something we're currently looking into right now and pursuing quite intensely.
Where is Back on My Feet located?
We are located, myself and Anne work from home to make this work. So we have 2 offices in our apartments, and this is how this succeeds. But the locations of our particular shelters, the first one was 13th and Vine, Sunday breakfast. Second one, St. John's Hospice on 12th and Race. The third one, Ready, Willing and Able on 12th and Bainbridge. And the third one was our new women's shelter. So we have a whole bunch of phenomenal women walking and running with us in the morning. That's 12th and Pine.
Now, people who will hear this show have seen the ABC piece. may want to help, that you have a website.
Correct. Our website is www.backonmyfeet.org, and if you want to donate, which we hope you will,
Right.
you can donate on the website.
Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about funding.
Sure.
Your funding comes from corporate contributions, individual contributions.
That's right. Exactly that. In-kind, corporate, individual. A lot of people set up different fundraisers. We have funding from different organizations, different charities from all over the United States right now.
How is the city taken to this? Have you had any interaction with any city officials, the mayor's office, for example, managing director, the police department? How are you interacting with the city officials and the city government in regards to all of these running teams?
Sure, that's a good question. These conversations are ongoing. You know, we're 6 months in, we're establishing a solid organization and getting some solid and wonderful results. So right now, the turn of the year, this is where we start to talk about, obviously, with Michael now coming in and his organization and his people coming in. It's something that's at the top of our list to speak with him and get an idea of how we can help him and how he can help us.
When the organization, when Ann first started the organization, was there a lot of skepticism on the part of the people that would be in the program? Because as I said at the outset of the show, it just, you don't think of homeless people being approached to run
Sure.
as a means of helping.
I think it depends who you talk to. I think with the guys that we spoke with originally, there was just excitement. I think
Right.
the community was filled with excitement. I know Anne tells a story about how she reached out to half a dozen people about getting sneakers and shirts and things like that, and the response we got, Art, was overwhelming in favor of what we were doing. So I think it's a very sexy organization, to say that, and I think it's something that's very unique. And
Well, on behalf of Martini Lounge Radio, I'm very happy that we've given your organization this opportunity to speak to our listeners and to make people aware. That's what the whole thing is about, to make people aware of what you are doing. Andrew Marr, Vice President, Back on My Feet, thank you very much.
Thank
It's
you,
been
Art.
my pleasure.
My pleasure.
And that is another Corner Table program. My thanks to Andrew Marr. And don't forget, if you want to help, they have the website. Give us the website once again.
www.backonmyfeet.org.
Is that one word?
That's right.
All right, one word. That's a big word. A big word. Art Andrews here. We will set a place for you next week at the Corner Table right here at Martini Lounge Radio. See you then. Well, that was great.